Welcome to Newegg TV. My name is Anthony, and today we're going to look at the Thermaltake Armor A60 AMD edition. Now this is a killer case for a number of reasons, has some cool features we'll go over in just a minute. Let's take a look at the box real quick. On the front, of course, shows it here, shows the side dock, that's one of the main things. Also USB 3 ready. On the back, we're going to take a closer look at it. The hot swappable side drive bay. It shows the USB 3 connector coming out. Also shows some of the easy power button option, the I/O ports, how those are located. Interesting one, mouse and keyboard lock, so that way if you're at a LAN party, nobody can steal your equipment, because we know that happens all the time. And then, of course, we're going to go over the internal structure a bit more, because that's a little difficult to see on the box. Kind of the main basic features: 3 5.25 drive bays, 1 3.5 that's accessible from the front. It's got 1 3.5 the SideClick EasySwap, the one we were talking about on the side, and then 5 3.5 and 2.5 hidden device trays on the inside. So let's get this thing open and see what we're going to play with here. First off, right off the bat, you can tell it's a bright red case. And of course the Thermaltake manual jumps out at you. So of course always look at these, make sure to register your product, that way you get warranty support on it. Okay, so now we got to the case. So the first couple things you'll notice right off the bat: 200mm fan right there on top for extra cooling. That means the power supply is located on the bottom. Spin it around here. We have a nifty little red window. See all your components, give off a good glow, intimidate your opponents. And then this side right here is your docking area for that 3.5-inch hard drive. Get around to the front. We have the 3 5.25 drive bays with the one accessible 3.5, and then from there, your power button, eSATA, high-speed USB, headphone, microphone, and then normal USB, and then of course your reset button. Let's get a look inside the case. There we go. Now on this side you can see things a lot easier because you have your 120mm fan on the back. You got 7 PCI ports on the back. Of course you have your bag of screws right here. This is the fun part because you have your quick mount releases here for your 5.25 drive bays. And then you have your quick releases for your drive trays as well. Your internal 3.5 or 2.5 drive trays. They have the adapter bolts right there, so that way you can screw in a notebook drive, anything like that. Now you'll notice, I don't know how well you can see that, but there's also a filter right here for the power supply. Now that's removable and cleanable, so that way you can keep the dust out of your machine, keep it working just like new. And then also on the front, which is going to be extremely difficult to see, you have another 120mm fan sitting just over here. Sitting right in there. And then of course you have your wiring for all the front connections, outputs, things like that. And then you'll notice the USB 3.0 coming out of these two back grommets. Now these can also be used for liquid cooling, so that way you have some options with how hard you run your processor. And then of course all your other connectors for fans, to the Molex, things of that nature. Now right here, this top bay is the one that's used for this side panel that you see here. You notice they line up. On the inside of this panel, you can actually pull it off and have direct access to swap it out when you need to. That's one of the cooler features of the case. Let's take a look at the back side of the case, see if we see anything interesting. Now you'll notice one of the things with this case, instead of it being a slide-on, they swing on. So you open it up just like a door hinge. It's got this little pull here. Makes life really easy because a lot of those slide-on cases are kind of a pain to work with. But here you have access, CPU cooler options, and then of course your motherboard mounts. And then if for any reason you want to add anything on this side, need to modify anything, you also have direct access to all your drives as well. And the one last feature here that we're going to show is the additional mounting area for another 120mm fan, just in case you really feel like doing some overclocking and need to cool that down. So this has been the unboxing of the Armor A60 AMD Edition case by Thermaltake. My name is Anthony, and thank you for watching Newegg TV. We'll see you next time.